Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN, of whom more in a bit. Hello everyone. I've recently found myself in a somewhat bizarre position. See, I have many friends, believe it or not, who have kids in their teens and tweens. Many of these kids, when asked what they want to do when they grow up, say they want to be YouTubers. And this is a little awkward because when their parents say that that's not really a practical career path, their comeback is, well, Jago does it. This is particularly awkward when I'm actually present and have to pretend that I'm actually some kind of shiftless hobo barely making ends meet. Oh, and if you're new to this channel, the B-roll is nothing to do with the subject of the video, it's just some stuff I haven't used before that I like. What you're looking at now is from the Tanfield Railway. I'll explain why at the end. Now, I'm not going to lie and pretend that YouTube isn't a cool job, because it is. I love it. There are times when I feel burnt out, but at no point has the idea of quitting ever crossed my mind. But it is also not easy money. It's a job. You have to work for it. And as such, it's not going to be fun all the time. So I thought I'd make a video explaining what the parent of an aspiring YouTuber needs to know. Now, this is not going to be a how-to on YouTube success because I'm not a good example. Everything other YouTubers tell you not to do, I do. Everything they tell you you have to do, I don't. Ultimately, we're like ancient priests trying to figure out how best to please the gods in order to ensure a bountiful harvest. We might look like we know what we're doing, some of us might even confidently assert that we do know what we're doing, but none of us do. Bear that in mind next time you see someone selling courses on this sort of thing. At best they're clueless, at worst they're a scammer. That being said, I am a YouTuber, which is more than can be said for most people who offer opinions on YouTubers, so I think I have some helpful advice. But before we get into that, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Now, maybe you already know about the usefulness of a VPN. It's a service that encrypts your data online, hiding you from snoopers and providing you with an extra layer of security, very useful in an age when seemingly everyone wants to get their grubby little paws on your personal information. As a useful bonus, because Surfshark has servers in over 140 countries, you can use it to get access to other countries' streaming services and get region-specific bargains when shopping online. Very handy in the run-up to Christmas. Surfshark can be used on all platforms and unlimited devices, which along with its enormous number of servers and strict no-logs policy makes it an excellent choice. I've been using it for years. Oh, what's this footage of mail trains for? Well, I'm glad you asked, theoretical person. That's because Surfshark has a clever new feature. Now, I don't know about you, but I get a lot of emails, and not all of them are nice. And I'm not just talking about the people who get angry when I say the London Underground is basically an American invention. I get scam emails all the time that contain phishing links or even links that contain malware. Some scam emails are easy to spot, but others are a lot harder. I know a lot of people, intelligent and careful people, who nevertheless got hacked as a result of an email that looked totally legit. So do you, probably. For me, this is a scary prospect. I work online. I get hacked, I lose my livelihood. Now, Surfshark has an email scam checker for use with Gmail that you can download via a Chrome browser extension if you get a Surfshark 1 or 1 Plus subscription. Simply tell it to check any emails and it uses AI, the non-evil kind, to analyze them for suspicious content, sender information that doesn't look right, and malicious links. It's another tool in the ongoing fight against scammers, spammers, and I feel like I should have a third thing there. Stammers? Spanners? I don't know. Anyway, for viewers of this channel, Surfshark has a special offer. Go to surfshark.com/Jago, or use the link in the description below, and enter the code JAGO at checkout to get 4 months extra free. Now, back to the YouTube game. Now, anyone can become a YouTuber. Honestly, that's what I think is great about it. No matter your age, backgrounds, or interests, you can make videos, upload them to YouTube, and get an audience. In many ways, it's no different from other jobs perceived as cool, footballer, musician, or movie star, but it has a far lower barrier to entry. You don't have to impress casting directors or talent scouts. You don't have to be what the studio is looking for or whatever. You don't need training. You don't even need any special equipment. You can get started with nothing more than a smartphone, some editing software, and an internet connection. So, why isn't everyone a professional YouTuber? Well, the trouble with any creative job is that the easier it is to get to, the harder it is to stand out. The trick is not being a talented creator, it's consistently creating videos that people want to watch for long enough to build an audience. There are literally millions of YouTube channels out there, and the vast majority of them make no money. Even very successful channels might not make enough for their owners to make a living. If your kid is going into YouTube with the idea that they can make a couple of videos, instantly go viral, and become rich and famous within the week, that's not going to happen. Personally, I think the best way to get into it is to do it as a hobby. Just make videos because you want to make videos. That's how I did it, that's how just about every other YouTuber I know did it. Maybe there's a subject you're interested in. Maybe you want to perform. Maybe you just like making videos. Going into it for money or fame is the wrong way to do it. You need to have that passion to create and to keep creating. You also need the ability to look at what you create and to want to improve. And above all, just keep going. Make videos even when no one's watching. Improve even if you get no criticism. And if you get bored with making videos and not getting engagement, well, to put it quite bluntly, maybe this isn't for you. So how do you get started? Well, starting a YouTube channel is easy enough. As I say, all you need to get off the ground is a smartphone to shoot your footage, some software to edit that footage, and an internet connection to upload the video to YouTube. I think most modern smartphones have some sort of editing software built in, but if not, there's plenty of free software available that's just fine if you're starting out. A laptop or desktop computer does make editing easier. You might also want a separate microphone for better quality audio. If you intend to appear on camera, you'll need lighting. But when I started out, I did everything on my phone. I was still using just my phone when the channel really took off. You don't need to spend a lot of money on this, is what I'm saying. And frankly, given how quickly kids get bored with things, that's probably for the best. You can find plenty of tutorials online on how to put videos together and edit, and of course Google is your friend here. The way I started was by making super basic videos, and then Googling it whenever I wanted to learn something new. Even if your kid doesn't want to keep the YouTube game up, they can still learn useful skills in the process. Editing, scripting, speaking clearly, these are all transferable skills. Something I will say is that the editing process is utterly tedious. It's by far the biggest part of what I do in terms of time. When I make a video that's about 10 minutes long, that takes an entire day to edit, and that's not including scripting. And my editing process is pretty straightforward. If you've seen any of my videos, you'll know I like to keep things simple. I think this is a key thing that a lot of people don't realise. They think it's just a case of point a camera at yourself, say what you have to say, upload, and get rich. It's not, it's just that most people don't talk about the boring part, because it's so boring. Again, it's kind of one of those tests as to whether this is for you. If you can wade through all that unbelievable boredom and frustration and still think this was worth it, maybe YouTube is your thing. I would recommend trying to make videos to a schedule. I am very much the kind of person who procrastinates if I don't have a schedule to keep, so I like to have a timetable. Again, working to a deadline, even if there are no external consequences, is a useful ability to have, and if you do have that one video that gets noticed, it's good to have a whole bunch of other videos that people can watch afterwards. That's how you build an audience. So how do you make money off this thing? I mean, that's what everybody wants to know. Well, there are many ways. There are crowdfunding platforms, I use Ko-fi and Patreon, where people can donate. There are sponsorships, but you can't really get those until you've got a decent-sized audience. Then there are the forms of revenue that come from YouTube itself. There's fan funding, where people can donate through YouTube. For that, you need at least 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours of watch time, i.e., your collective audience has, between them, watched your stuff for 3,000 hours. Then there's ad revenue, for which you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours. This is why it takes a while to make money off your channel. You have to build an audience. YouTube won't just pay you the moment you upload. And even then, it will take a while for your income to build up. You won't be making a living wage in your first month. The other issue is consistency. You might make a lot of money one month, then considerably less the next month. It's a variable and worryingly fragile form of income. One video might do very well, another might do very badly. Not to mention all the horror stories of channels that got banned or demonetized because their owners didn't read the rules. And this is the biggest risk of doing YouTube as your job. Even if you make money, you might not keep making money. For me, I started making money after a year, and I was very lucky in that regard. For most channels it takes longer. I put this down to the pandemic hitting and everyone being really bored. It took another year for me to be earning a living wage, and I didn't go full-time for another 2 years because I wanted to be absolutely certain that this was practical long-term, and that I had enough money squirreled away that I wouldn't be in trouble if it all went away for whatever reason. What happens to that income is for you to discuss with your child. Maybe set up a saving account that it can be channeled into. Maybe have your account as the recipient and pay your child out of it. Just don't be one of those jerk parents who filches your kids' money. Oh, and do bear in mind, taxes have to be paid on earnings. There have been plenty of YouTubers who have been caught out that way. It's still real money. So that's the basics of how you get started. Now let's talk about staying safe. If you let your kids start a channel, I recommend keeping an eye on them. You have to be careful online because there are a lot of creepy people out there. So make sure that no personally identifying information is given out. Nothing that could allow weirdos to figure out where your child lives, where they go to school, anything like that. Anything that could put them in danger. I have heard some absolute horror stories of people getting doxed from seemingly innocuous information. Fortunately, your child probably doesn't have much of an online footprint at their age, hopefully, so there's less risk than there might be for someone who's been online for 20 years or something. But still, be careful and watch what they say. But I think it's important to familiarise yourself with the risks and to familiarise your child with the risks, just in case. There's also an option to turn comments off on videos. If your child is making videos for other kids, the YouTube Kids option disables comments automatically. The reason I say all this is because, again, there are weird people out there. There are trolls, there are creeps, there are people you really don't want communicating with your child. Most people are basically decent, but you only need one jackass to ruin your child's day, so keep an eye on things. On the whole, though, just starting a YouTube channel is pretty harmless, provided you're careful and your child goes in with realistic expectations. The important, if somewhat cold-hearted message is that it's very hard work and you probably won't get rich or famous off it. But if you're passionate about it, if you get satisfaction from creating something, it can be a fun and even profitable hobby. And that is the sum total of Uncle Jago's advice. Well, I do hope you enjoyed today's rather atypical video. If you did, please do leave a like and consider subscribing for more, although this really isn't the sort of video I normally make. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask below. Maybe there will be a follow-up video, or maybe not. Who knows with a wild and crazy guy like me. Oh yeah, the Tanfield Railway thing. Well, I had this short video crop up on one of my feeds that was from one of these urbex types, and they actually had footage from the Tanfield Railway, and they were spinning some cock and bull story about how it was this abandoned railway in the forest. And I was like, no man, I've been there, it's totally open to the public. It's just where the railway keeps the stuff in the queue for restoration. It was just annoying me, that's all. Anyway, I would like as ever to thank my donors on Ko-fi, on Patreon, and here on YouTube for your support. You are the income to my YouTube channel. Thanks also to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Check out the link in the description below to take advantage of their generous offer. And I will see you all again very soon. Cheerio.